I would love to be on that committee. They get a nice hotel room,
right?
They get a nice hotel. They get free food. Oh yeah, they have a hard
And
job.
they just
watch football every Saturday.
Right, they just sit there and watch football.
Can Cinco Squad be on the committee?
Can we be a committee of our own? We'll decide who plays in the SoCon Conference Championship.
No, because the four in would every year would be Michigan, Ohio State, Kentucky, and Notre Dame. I think they're really. Kentucky was 4-8 this year. Yeah, they're good. I think they're hitting their stride.
Yeah, but those 4 wins though, they look fantastic.
Quality
schedule.
Quality
wins.
Yeah, buddy, it is episode Ocho y Ocho? Is that Ochenta y Ocho?
Okay, Spanish.
Okay, yeah.
Uno!
Episode 88 of Cinco Squad. My name is Jonathan Sawyer. With me are my brothers, of course, Grandpa J to my left, Mike A to my right, and TreyDay to my right. Fellas, happy Thursday. How's everyone doing today?
Good.
Cool.
Good.
But I got to bring something up. You know, y'all, what you about to say, Jay?
I got some time off this week. I'm great.
What's that?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Jay, you know what that is?
I'm trying to figure that out as the days went on.
He's like, what do I do with this?
I
don't know what to do with my hands.
I got to bring something up though, just because I know y'all three are like the bigger college basketball, fans and all that type of stuff. So the other day, I'm sitting there and one of my buddies sends me his list, and he's like, these players of like people are playing, and I'm like, damn, what's up with these names? So give you a couple crazy names I came across in college basketball. So we have a player named Always Right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's a guy named A Million Bugs.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We have a Tennessee Rainwater.
Yep.
We have a Po' Boy King.
Yep.
We have a Coach Dick Bender. We have a player named Jizzle James.
Yep.
There's a guy named Supreme Cook.
Yep.
Now, that's my favorite.
We have a Chris Cross.
Gonna make you jump.
Yep. We have a guy named Churchill Bounds.
Not Downs, but Bounds.
Bounds.
Or Bounds. Okay, Churchill Bounds.
Definitely not from Louisville.
Bounds.
I might be pronouncing this wrong, but it's a guy, I think it's in Miami. He's Wooga Popular. Or
something like
that.
Something like that. I was like, whoa.
Your guess is as good as mine, to be honest with you.
Somebody else's name is Bubai. And then last we have a guy named Legend Geeter.
Yep.
See, now you made Jamie pray for him. Now there's not.
So we have some interesting names. I'm just looking. I said, like, damn, we can make like an all-name team and like create a team and let them go out here and hoop and make a school just with like the craziest names and coached by Coach Dick Bender.
Of course.
As you know, the crazy part about that list is they put Ray Allen Jr. on that list, and I'm just like, that's not a crazy name, really.
It was Ray Allen the third, but I skipped that one because I didn't think it was that.
Yeah, like I didn't understand it. And then he has a teammate on there too. I forget his name, but I know that list you're talking about because I saw it the other day, and I was like, wow, these people. I hope these aren't their real names. These can't be their real names.
Of course, they're their real names.
I want to say at least I want to say Always Right is his actual name.
Golly, could you
Kool-Aid McKinstry?
I don't know if I could be his friend and be like,
no,
he's like, I'm always right. No, you're not.
No,
yes, I am.
I'm always legitimately, I'm always right.
Who's the guy named Kool-Aid? Kool-Aid what?
Kool-Aid
McKinstry, but Kool-Aid's not his real name.
That's his nickname.
They say the Kool-Aid Smile, which is why.
And then there's one other guy.
That's a big ass smile if you got a Kool-Aid.
Clinton Dix.
Yeah.
Remember him?
I remember him.
Smoker Monday.
Always right, trying to get a girl's number and walking up and be like, "Hey, baby, let me get your number." And then she like, "What's your name?" "I'm always right, baby." And she's like, "No,
screw
really.
you, screw you."
Like, "Fuck you, narcissist." He's like, "No, baby, I'm always
no,
right."
no, legitimately, my name is always. Where are you going? I remember when John and I were at Bonaventure. I want to say he played at UMass. It was like Luane Pipkins or something like that.
I don't remember that guy.
Yeah, there was some short. He was like a short guard. I think on UMass. Yeah, his last name was Pipkins.
That name fits though. He's a short guard.
Yeah.
College basketball right now is heating up right now. Mike's UNC took a devastating loss last night to UConn, but that's tough. What I'm noticing right now in college basketball,
UConn's gonna be tough to beat.
But they also got beat by Kansas too the week prior on Friday. So looking at the college basketball landscape, I mean, realistically, I am very intrigued by the field of 68 this year. It is going to be the hardest year to select because there's going to be a lot of teams with 8, 9, 10 losses and a lot of high-ranked teams. I think this is the first year where they'll probably be in the top 5. We'll have 4 or 5 losses, in my opinion. Like, I think that's probably
they're all beating each other.
Well, not even that. I mean, Southern beat Mississippi State the other day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that Illinois took FAU to the wire and beat them. Well, according to the Syracuse graphic that I put up on Twitter, they beat them 980 to, I think it was like 980 to 80. And I was like, damn, Illinois got the season record in one game.
They got some pretty explosive guards. Illinois is going to be tough to beat in the Big Ten this year.
They're tough. They were tough last year when Syracuse played them. They were they're gritty. They can really get, they have size. They got
that. That 2 guard system, how it works right now in college basketball. They have 2 guards who are not afraid to take the ball.
Who can shoot.
Right.
But they are aggressive guards. That's what I like.
Exactly. And you don't see that a lot in college basketball anymore, especially with the better teams, right? So
listen up. It's never too early to get fresh. We got a promotion here. It's done with a group called Fans Idea. They make dope jerseys, just like this one you see right here. You can customize the jerseys, get your own type of logo, maybe do something for the family, for a family reunion. Just get fresh. They do jerseys, hats, T-shirts, shirts, whatever you need, they got it. That's where you need to go. But use that Cinco Squad link, Cinco Squad 10. It'll get you 10% off. So go ahead, click that link.
Hey guys, Mike here from Cinco Squad. Just wanted to stop by and make sure that you go check out ShankItGolf.com. Again, that's ShankItGolf.com. Use the code Cinco Squad. That's Cinco Squad to get yourself 15% off of all kinds of golf apparel, hats, polos, like anything you could need, golf accessories. Go check it out on ShankItGolf.com. Cinco Squad, 15% off. Go get yours today.
But we know who's gritty every single week, who kills it with our first video going over 100,000.
Yeah.
Congrats to Mikey for going over 100,000 video
Thank you.
views.
Thank you.
Appreciate everyone viewing his video.
Yes.
But
continue
let's start over going for what's on Mike's mind.
Okay. So this week, guys, I got a 2-parter for you because they kind of it flows into each other, but it's kind of 2 facts in one, and it's very topical. So,
oh boy,
prior to not, I wish it was tropical. It's topical. Prior to moving to the ACC in 1991, Florida State was invited to join the SEC.
Jeez.
But the administration decided not to, as they viewed the ACC as the easier way to get through to get to a national championship.
Irony is.
Irony is painful. This year, they hired J.P. Morgan to help them find a way to raise at least $120 million, which is the exact amount of money they will need to spend to leave the ACC.
Cool.
Which that decision, if I saw correctly, comes in April or by April.
To go to the
probably SEC.
Pac-2, Pac-12,
Pac-12, the Pac-3.
We'll take Stanford. You take Florida State.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So they're shit. We could beat Oregon State and Washington State. But yeah. So being what we're kind of coming off of this past Sunday, I thought when I heard that both those pieces of information, I was like, this is interesting, isn't it?
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
But where would they actually go though? So there's not enough room in the SEC right now. There's 14 teams in the SEC.
Yeah, they want 16.
We're going for 16 to 20 teams per conference. We already see this.
Yep.
Yeah, I
They'll
guess.
go to the SEC.
John, if it's 16, it's a perfect 8-8 on each side. You play 7 conference games on your side of the bracket, and then you crisscross 2.
Isn't the SEC? Wait, isn't SEC combining just like the Big Ten, where they're having one division? like one. It's just going to be one conference.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are they doing that? I haven't heard that they're getting rid of.
I know I know, like I learned from Trey last week that the Big Ten. I forgot they were doing that next year.
Yeah, Big Ten's doing that. I don't know if
they're going to literally have to go back to that if they keep adding teams.
They may
100%.
realign East West in the SEC though. Like they may do realignments.
Yeah,
with the
I can see it.
additions.
Is that that's it? Because that's why they said this is the last year that Alabama and Georgia can play it themselves, play in the SEC championship game. Because I think Georgia's going over, or Alabama's going over to the Georgia side,
to the East,
I think,
because Oklahoma and Texas are coming into the West.
Yes, so I think that was why they kept saying it. So okay, that's interesting.
Yes, but you know what else?
I thought you were going to say that they raised 120 million votes to get in the college football playoff.
Oh no.
But Governor Ron DeSantis,
could you imagine that?
Is asking for $1 million to play.
Oh my gosh! Shut up.
He says he wants to sue the committee.
Yeah.
Because they didn't let Florida State it. Because I'm sorry, like agree or disagree, because they did their jobs.
We talk about trying to win more votes up in the north.
I would love to be on that committee. They get a nice hotel room,
right?
They get a nice hotel, they get free food. Oh yeah, they have a hard
job.
They watch football every Saturday.
Right, they just sit there and watch football.
Can Cinco Squad be on the committee?
Can we be a committee of our own?
Ad hoc.
We'll decide who plays in the SoCon Conference Championship.
No, because the four in would every year would be Michigan, Ohio State, Kentucky, and Notre Dame. I think they're really. Kentucky was 4-8 this year. Yeah, they're good. I think they're hitting their stride.
Yeah, but those 4 wins though, they look fantastic.
Quality
schedule.
Quality
wins.
Quality. It's the hottest teams going in, right?
Yeah.
Right. They won their last 4 games.
That should be nice.
So yeah, that is, I found that interesting, and I thought I'd share that with you guys. But you know what we always find interesting? Jamie's locks of the week. JT.
Bring it in, boys and girls. Bring it in. Last week we had a dinger donger, and unfortunately, this guy decided to go against Nick Saban and the Tide. So the Tide go ahead and completely just mess up what could have been a perfect 5-0 week. It was a risky bet. Something inside said maybe you should go with Bama, but I decided to go with the Dogs because I thought they were going to make their way in. And now we know they're not even going to get a chance to even defend their national championship. But I'll take 4-1 any week, and I hope you guys took those picks because you would have been winners if you got at least 4 of those picks in. I'm sure some of you were thinking Bama and Georgia was too risky like me, but we don't mind risking it for the biscuit here on Cinco Squad. So what are my locks of the week this week? Well, you know I got to go into the play-in tournament. The NBA has reached its semifinals right now. This afternoon, we're at start time, 5 p.m. start time with the Bucks and Pacers, and here's why I love that game. That game right now is sitting at 254 points, and one of these teams alone can put up 160 or 70 by themselves with the way they are shooting the ball. The Pacers are playing a run-and-gun Mike D'Antoni system out there right now where they're just letting those boys play. And the Bucks probably shot somewhere in the region of 64% from the field and 65% from the three-point line in their quarterfinal game. So they are on fuego right now. Expect the over to hit in that game. It's 254. I think those teams annihilate the over by at least 20 or 30 points. So that's today, actually. Then we go to college basketball, where Marquette, after a disappointing loss, Marquette did get beat by Illinois, we mentioned already, has that putting it to Texas right now. When I say, I mean, they're up by about 34 points. They beat Texas soundly. They were up by about 34 with like 8 minutes to go. This team is going to annihilate the Irish on Saturday. Yes, Mikey, I know it's not your basketball team, so you don't have to worry that much. 15.5-point favorites. Marquette will cover that easily. It's going to be a 20-plus point win. And then kind of scratching my head on why the Rams are getting 7 against Baltimore. I don't buy into the Baltimore hype because Baltimore does one really good thing in December, and that is implode. These Ravens have done one thing really well for the past 3 years, and that is not show up in December. So take the Rams at +7. So here's my big 3 winners for the weekend. This evening, you got to take the over in the Bucks-Pacers game. That's 254. That's the total points in the game. On Saturday, Marquette to cover 15.5 against those Irish. And then on Sunday, those Ravens don't show up in December. So take the Rams at +7. They're playing great ball. Matt Stafford looked like a friggin' old school Matt Stafford last weekend. He was slinging that ball all around the place. So I love them against the Ravens, not to win, but to cover 7. That, ladies and gentlemen, are your locks of the week. Put them in, win that money, buy us some damn studio equipment.
Philadelphia Eagles fans, relax. It's one game. We are 10-2. 10-2, right? We could be 2-10. We could be like the rest of the team. We could be the Panthers and eliminated already. Calm down. Now as for the Eagles, I'm glad we got our ass kicked in that game because it was a wake-up call. We were skating by games, playing sloppy offense, sloppy defense, missed assignments, missed tackles. Just terrible overall football. Now we can go to work, be hungry for a win against Dallas, against Seattle, against New York, against Arizona, and then go into the playoffs very strong. If you remember when we won the Super Bowl, this is the time of the year right now where Carson went down and we had to go to Nick Foles to help us out. And they took 5 games for them to get gelling with the offense, and everyone was scared. It's okay. It's one game. We will be fine. Oh, and for you coaching staff, start to step up your game here. We just signed Shaq Leonard. We have a tough schedule coming up here. We need to lock in and make sure things are perfect. Brian Johnson, run the ball. DeAndre Swift has proven he can run the ball, and he is a dominant runner right now. So give him the rock. Let him pick up carries. It's very easy when your offense is one-dimensional. We've seen it from teams like Buffalo. We've seen it teams like Baltimore. If your offense is one-dimensional, you are not going to win championships. You need to run the ball and have a good run game. And I understand you guys know that, but let's go into Dallas and run it down their throats, and let's get it. Now go into Dallas, kick their ass, and let's finish out this season strong because Bird Gang over everything. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's get it. Week after week, I'm hoping that actually lands.
One day.
Somebody does it.
Although all 4 of us would be
$5,000 on it, $20,000.
although all 4 of us will be so fucking skeptical. Be like, why did we get an anonymous donor of $50,000? Be like, it's not real.
I'm gonna fly to Vegas and put $1,000 on one of these parlays and come back home with some moolah.
You gonna put it down on the red?
Yeah, after I win it, I can double on red.
I could do it. I swear.
1 year's worth of rent in a studio. Well, there was an interesting take. This if the Rams make the playoffs, they could potentially play in Detroit.
Wow.
Could you imagine that?
That'd be awesome.
And every Detroit fan is like, the one team they don't want to see in the playoffs is a Matthew Stafford-led Rams team.
Yeah.
I mean, the extra motivation, oh my God, man. That shit would be incredible. That's the one threat to the Rams, the Detroit Lions in the first round, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Matt,
don't worry about it. I just worry about that hype. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, it's just, it's just everything aligning correctly.
No, because if anything, the hype would be Jared Goff. He's the one that got cast out and set aside.
Yeah, I guess that's
you already got rid of me. He's the one that took my shoulder, not Stafford.
Yeah, he got the ring.
Beloved.
He got the ring.
They'll go in there, put some video tribute of Matt Stafford to cry. They'll bring his wife out and she'll crown the 50, and Jared Goff will be sitting there like, fuck this dude, fuck this dude, fuck this dude. Who's waiting to go?
Let him cook.
Let him cook. Yeah, let Jared cook. I would take Jordan.
I mean, if I was Jared Goff, I would feel some type of way too, because I'm like, motherfucker, I'm almost a 1. I got us to a 1 seed. Matthew barely got us in the playoffs one time. Like, what the hell? Yeah. Like, no, like.
Hey, but don't sleep right now. Those Packers are creeping up.
The Packers.
Love is looking really good, and I'm very surprised that he's starting to look good, but also to a fact that why are we so hell-bent on getting these like rookie quarterbacks, I guess you say, because this is his rookie year, if you think about it. I know he's 3 years in, but
standpoint, yes.
From a starter standpoint, he hasn't really had time. So he has to kind of go through the motions, right? I feel like we're so like he has to be Aaron Rodgers immediately. It's like, let him get his feels in.
Big shoes to fill because Green Bay's had 3 quarterbacks in the last 30 years.
Yes.
Big shoes to fill. So
who was before Favre?
Well, Favre was there forever.
No, he's saying Favre.
Yeah,
Favre.
Favre, Rodgers, and
right.
Love.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Favre was there in the early 90s.
I guess that's a good question. Who was before Favre?
Perhaps that will be a Stump the Squad.
As Mike's like, shit, I forgot one. But as we talk about potential rivalries in sports with the Rams and Lions, I want to know what you guys think about who is the best rivalry in sports to you right now.
And we're saying pro sports, correct?
Pro sports, correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Best rivalry in pro sports today, not dating back, right now. TreyDay, take it away.
Celtics versus Bucks. I know people don't look at that like a rivalry, but that shit has history at this point. The Celtics and Bucks have played each other 3 playoff series since 2018. In those 3 playoff series, 2 of those went to Game 7. So that already gives you a lot of a heated battle. Now you add in the fact that you got Drew Holiday basically being cast off and saying, we don't need you, we need Dame. And who does he go to? He went to the Ops. So he took his ass over there. He took his ass over there to Boston, and now they have to come back. They have to face that issue. And the best part about it is Drew is going to be checking Dame, so that's going to be an intense thing. On top of that, known fact, but I think sometimes people forget, at the last 7 Eastern Conference Finals, at least one of those 2 teams has been at every Eastern Conference Finals over the last 7 years. So these have been the top 2 teams really consistently in the East. Now this year, they're based on a collision course to meet again with way more stakes. You got Giannis, who is the MVP, Tatum, who's probably a future MVP. Those 2 are going to be checking each other at certain points. You got Horford, you got the agent center there, you got Lopez, you got an agent center there. Everything about it just lines up like both of them have younger head coaches at this point. Everything about that lines up. I think that's going to be, and then in that type of series, we can get offense, but some of those games are going to be old school defense. People grind it out. So for me right now, Celtics and Bucks, best rivalry in pro sports at this moment. Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I can't agree with that. I mean, that's a solid matchup. If I would have to say right now, I'd probably say Celtics Heat just based on the last few years. But now that you're going back and looking at the collision course that they're on right now and how many times they've been in the conference championship and how good their games have been over the last 5 years. I mean, if we think about it, the last 5 years in the regular season, those two teams playing each other has been like they're playing for an in-season tournament, right?
Yep.
So I couldn't agree more. Mike, what you got?
So I was kind of going back and forth with a lot through all the sports and kind of thinking about different ones because I think this mainly one of the main reasons why this comes about, just as a side note, is all the leagues have changed so much as far as like the teams that face off with each other. One kind of sticks into my head, and it may be sticking in my head only because of where I live and locality, and it's really more one-sided than like a 2-sided rivalry. But I know that the animosity and hate is so strong on one side that it's become kind of a rivalry, at least in their minds, and that is Chiefs-Bills. In the sense that I know from the Bills fans that I know and living around here and stuff like that, it doesn't seem like there's any team they want to absolutely. They might want to beat the Chiefs now as much, if not more, than they want to win a Super Bowl. Because it's just been, and for the Chiefs side, it's almost like the Bills are that little brother that won't go away. It's like, I already beat you. Like, stop. Just stop annoying me. And you've got considered 2 of the better quarterbacks in the league now between Mahomes and Allen, although it seems like Allen's slipping from his spot in the sense of like decision making. There's been a lot of questions as to decision making in the poor season compared to expectations that the Bills are having this year. But yeah, for me, it's just like they always seem to find a way to meet each other in intense games, whether they be primetime regular season games or playoff games. And it seems to be a match. It's the demon that the Bills need to slay before they can truly be ready, seemingly, to win a championship.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but what people aren't putting out there is that I think it's more of a quarterback rivalry than a team-to-team rivalry.
Right.
The teams have only played each other one or two times over the last few years, and once is in the playoff where we saw that back.
The Bills had it, and then they didn't.
Yeah.
Right.
To be honest, I would have said the Chiefs are more rival with the Bengals right now because those two have had.
I thought about that too. Yeah.
Because at least, and I get what you mean with the Bills. The Bills are like chasing up the hill, but the Bengals have actually overcame them, and the Chiefs overcame them. So the fact that they both have their wins, I would have probably picked that one. Even though I have read like people say to be up there in Buffalo and upstate New York, I do hear that is like the one they want even more than any of the division games at this moment.
Well, that's this weekend too. This game, Buffalo and Chiefs. So that is this weekend's game.
Right.
But to give you a little bit of stat line here, I think this is why I think it's more of a quarterback because everyone keeps saying Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. He has the wins, right? He has the Super Bowl victories. Josh doesn't. But right now, Patrick Mahomes has 3,100 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. That's a pretty bad season from him.
For him, yeah.
17 times sacks, no rushing touchdowns. Josh Allen, and he has a 67% completion percentage. Josh Allen has 68% completion percentage, which I think he rose that against the Eagles. 3,200 yards, 24 touchdowns, 13 picks, 15 sacks, and 9 rushing touchdowns. Now, I'm not arguing either side here. I'm just giving the stats here that they do, as much as they harp on Josh a lot, but they're not harping on Mahomes as much. Most likely because he's got the ring, right? He's got the ring on his finger. He's going to hold that. But I think it's more of a quarterback rivalry than a team-to-team rivalry. People are trying to say Josh is the best quarterback in the league versus the teams are the best and whatnot.
Yeah, I think it's just it is driven definitely by the quarterbacks, and then the fan bases have kind of, Mahomes is our guy, Allen's our guy, and so the fan bases have started to create kind of an animosity. Plus, the Bills fans, I know the fans are still not over that playoff game.
Yeah,
not.
Well, it's the closest they've come to a Super Bowl run.
Right. Exactly.
Grandpa Jay.
Yes, Jay.
I will go last. So you go ahead next.
No problems. Mikey, I like your two, but I'm gonna fold the Bills and give me the Bengals because those have been the most entertaining playoff games I think over the last 2 years. I don't think anybody expected of all teams, the Bengals to dethrone the mighty Kansas City Chiefs to win the AFC and make it into the Super Bowl and have a very legitimate chance of winning that Super Bowl, be it not for a superhuman performance by Aaron Donald that pretty much took over the fourth quarter all on his own and made sure the Rams walked away with that Super Bowl. But to see Joe Cool become Joe Cool in that moment on the road, I mean, he solidified himself already in history by getting the Bengals, the modern-day Bengals, to the Super Bowl, right? We're talking the Cincinnati Bengals here.
The Bungles.
Yeah, the Bungalungles. So to me, you look at the last 4 years, it's like the Super Bowl goes through Kansas City. And ever since Mahomes lost to Brady in the playoffs, the only other person he's lost to in the playoffs since is Joe Cool because they lost to Brady in the Super Bowl. So the only other quarterback to beat him over the past 4 years is Joe Cool. Right. So you got to give him his hat and, give Jack his jacket and say, well, you created an amazing rivalry here because now if Kansas City sees Cincinnati make it through in the playoffs, Chiefs fans are like, shit, here we go again. This is not the team that we want to see in the playoffs because they're not afraid to play us in Arrowhead. And that's what I love about that rivalry is the Bengals go in there with a big chip on their shoulder. There's not too many other teams that go in there thinking they have a shot. They go in there expecting to win those games. So I thoroughly enjoyed that rivalry in the playoffs specifically over the past couple of years. Pretty sad it's not going to happen again this year because I thought that's what we would see in the AFC conference championship game. But so be it. Maybe we'll have it again next year.
Well, not so fast there, Buckaroo, because yes, I said Buckaroo. But them Bengals look fucking good on Monday night there against Jacksonville. Tough Jacksonville defense.
Yeah, but Joe Cool's out for the season. That's what I mean.
Yeah, I get that, but I mean, I'm very interested to see how the Bengals finish out this season because, Trey, you alluded to it in your rant last week. We've alluded to it all the time. It's not a bad thing to have a good backup quarterback in there. Mm-hmm. Not saying Jake Browning's a great backup quarterback, but he did look pretty good.
Washington.
UW.
But the
Number
Bengals got a
two.
long uphill battle, and right now they don't have a lot of time. Most of their losses are in the AFC.
Mhm.
Right now, they don't have tiebreakers against really. They've actually, I think they might have lost every division game right now. Like they have a lot of uphill to go.
Yeah,
Each
yeah.
Bengals is perfect.
But if they do get in the playoffs, watch out. That's all I'm saying. Watch out for this team. Watch out for that defense. They don't need a lot on the offensive side. That defense is still solid and intact. But
And
I'm just
Jamar
saying,
Chase
if they
still
do
alive.
get in the playoffs, it could be like, okay, maybe they're gaining some confidence. Browning starts to gain some more confidence. Who knows what happens here? You know, and you guys must have been looking at my paper because I had Chiefs Bengals on there as well. But I'm going to take it to my city of brotherly love, to the Philadelphia Phillies in the Atlanta Braves.
That's a good one.
Okay, that's a good one.
Philadelphia Phillies and Atlanta Braves have been dogging it out all year. Braves basically wiped us in the regular season, wiped the floor with Philadelphia. But Philadelphia has them when it counts. In the playoffs in the last 2 years, Philadelphia has dominated. And yes, I said dominated the Atlanta Braves in 4 games in the divisional round, and have just totally taken the best team of the league out of contention every single year. So that is the best rivalry right now in sports because of the animosity that the Phillies fans have against the Braves, and it just seems like the Braves come in all high and mighty, but the Phillies remind me of the Bengals kind of going into Arrowhead. The Phillies go into Truist Park in a hostile environment and just win games. So I think that's the hottest rivalry right now in sports.
And you know what the thing is about that? Now that I'm kind of thinking on it, because I think you're right. That's a great pick. Thinking about it, the last few decades, like the last 20, 30 years of baseball, right? It's been rare that they've been really good at the same time like this.
Yeah.
The Braves went to a World Series in 91, lost to the Twins. The Phillies went to a World Series in 93 against Toronto and lost. But after that, the Braves went to 3 more, won 1, lost 2.
Much more.
The Phillies didn't go to another one until 2008.
Yeah. And it was the Phillies for like 20 years, or the Braves.
And they won that one.
Braves for like 20 years. 2008, and then they went to 2009 and lost to the Yankees. But meanwhile, during that time, the Braves were good, but they weren't this good. They weren't nearly as good as the Phillies. But then all the guys for the Phillies, like Rollins and Utley and Howard and Halladay and Hamels and all that, they all left Philly, and then the Braves got good.
Yeah.
So
if I'm MLB right now, like I am doing anything I can to take a little bit out of what Philadelphia is doing, because I don't care what you're doing, but the amount of love and passion, they're staying throughout games, like to the end of the ninth and then some. Like they're never leaving the stadium.
You can't take you can't force passion.
You can't force passion, but like the way the Phillies did everything this year, the way MLB needs to broadcast that is what I'm trying to say.
That's what they want. That's what they need.
You can't even watch games right now. Now teams are able to. There's a lot of teams now coming around. I think it's Texas. I think Texas now has just negated their blackout privileges. So, like, if we were on YouTube TV down there, we could watch the game on the local station.
Nice.
Which is good. I think there's a couple other cities doing this, but that is going to ultimately hype them up. This type of momentum that they're going to do in baseball is needed, because if you're not a baseball fan and you're watching the Phillies playoff game, you immediately become a Phillies fan.
Yeah,
it's fun.
It looks like a big ass party you're having there. So, that's why I think it is. It just draws you in. And as a baseball fan myself, I was like, shit, if I'm not liking the Yankees, go Phillies.
Right.
Tell you what, though, if it wasn't for Shohei Ohtani, Ronald Acuna Jr. would be the biggest name in baseball, at least over the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, he would be. Oh, and I'm putting my vote in again. I did it on the rotation with Mike and John. I'm doing it again. Shohei is going to sign with the Los Angeles Angels.
Ooh,
He's going to be an Angel at the end of this. And
no
he's going to sign with them.
No
The
chance.
writing's on the wall right now. Trout's coming back. Ron Washington, great managing hire. They're doing everything right. They just signed a starting pitcher that's pretty decent right now. I'm saying the Angels are re-signing Otani.
He's the right manager. I think they just ran out of time.
That'd be a huge mistake on his part.
What's that?
That would be a huge mistake on his part.
Yes, it would.
Would be awesome for me.
Yeah, you'd be right.
Like, yeah. In our podcast, we'd get a ton of views. Like, that guy knows everything. Bless you. Oh, you could be like the dude from the Jets. Bless you. Thank you.
I tried to mute the mic. You heard that?
I can see you.
No, we see it. See, Jamie, you're on camera.
No, I realized that. I didn't know. I could have been taking. I could have been burping.
We're very.
Oh, you saw that? Yeah, Jamie, we're looking at you.
I said you heard that because I muted. I didn't want the fans to hear.
No, we
sneezing into that mic.
Athletes in these injuries, they just don't get enough props. I think a lot of times as common folks, we just look at it and say, get out there, be tough, man up. Now, you could agree or disagree with Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if he tore his Achilles. If he didn't, either way, it was a devastating injury. The fact that he even got out here to practice is just simply amazing. Most people, we wouldn't be able to do that. Remember when Kobe had tore his Achilles, was able to shoot 2 free throws? Most of our athletes have been getting wheeled off in a wheelchair and crying, but Kobe manned up and finished that out. A couple weeks ago, I'm sitting there watching basketball, and they're like, CJ McCollum has a collapsed lung. Who did I see in the NBA the other day? CJ McCollum. I'm like, damn, dude's had a collapsed lung. What are we doing here? Tyrod Taylor, the man had his lung punctured, and he's still out here coming out to actually show up and play football. This is crazy. If you told anybody else, yeah, we would have dropped the lawsuit, but we would have never got back on the field after the team doctor punctures our lung. Remember when Adrian Peterson bounced back from the ACL injury in 2012? We're like, oh my God, this is crazy. He's about to lead the league in rushing. Now this is starting to become commonplace for players tearing ACL. They're able to bounce back. That used to be a career injury years ago. Peyton Manning, the neck injury. I know Peyton Manning didn't have the best year the year they won the Super Bowl, but remember the year when he first got to Denver, they set many records, and this was supposed to be the neck injury that was supposed to end his career. Paul George, I know I get a Clipper shit, but I remember watching that man's leg go each and every way, and Paul George still went on to be a multi-time All-Star. And one more last shout-out. Shout you out, ladies. Remember 1996, Carrie Strug? The way that lady went out there, performed, put America on her back and got a gold medal, that's simply amazing. I got to shout out the doctors for the things they're doing. And I got to shout out these athletes because most of us average people, we would never be out here doing that type of stuff.
All right. Well, as we move on from the rivalry talk, those are all really good rivalries from 3 different sports. I'm so glad no one said the Eagles and the Niners. Let's move it on to the college ranks, as it has been a controversial week this week with the committee right now. And I'm going to throw it over to Grandpa Jay to discuss our next topic. Grandpa Jay?
Yeah, so, of course, I hopped on Monday morning before I left to head out, and just to hear the debate on everybody's take on whether it was an injustice to Florida State, because I wasn't home on Sunday. I was at a swim meet all day, so I didn't get to hear the debate right away afterwards. And I'm sure it was a lot more heated, but a lot of people were actually defending Florida State despite the fact that they're down to possibly their 3rd string quarterback here going into the playoffs. And I thought a lot of the arguments were good, especially when they pull up strength of schedule, and Florida State was sitting there at 3rd in the nation. So for me, it's like, I don't know what else they needed to get in. I think they punished them unfairly for something that was out of their control, which is an injury. Like, you cannot control those things. You control an outcome of a game by being prepared enough to win the game, or you lose it if you're not prepared enough and the other team came out and hit you in the mouth. But they survived every single time they tried. They got hit in the mouth in Florida hard, they survived. They got hit in the mouth hard in the first half against Louisville, they survived. So I found it unfair. So my thing is that, should we just switch over to computers now to allow them to tell us who the top 4 teams are, or who the best 12 next year are? So we're done with this idea of wanting to have a conversation with people in the committee to find out why they made the decision they made, or, what do we consider human error or human bias? Should we just get rid of that? And we know that's how it used to be before. Accept the fact that we're smart enough to allow an algorithm to get smart throughout the whole season as it keeps getting more information, and trust what it spits out at the end of the year. So do you guys agree that going back to a computer system is the best way for us to know that we definitely have the best 4 teams playing, and next year the best 12 in the college football playoff.
No, I don't think a computer is going to be able to, because we had a bunch of problems with the FCS with the computer, right? Back when we were in the BCS national championship game, we had a bunch of problems where someone should have been number 2, someone should have been number 1. It was just back and forth all the time. With the going to a computer for 4 teams, it's going to probably open that up even more to controversy, because how is the computer set? What are the analytics that you're setting, right? What is it at the end of the day? I don't think there's a right answer for this, right? You have one side of good argument, like you said, about Florida State having a good strength of schedule, good wins against SEC, scheduling non-conference tough opponents like Trey. Him and I talked this week and talked about how, what's the point of scheduling a tough conference, non-conference? You can't. And then they said they penalize them, saying, "Oh, Florida's down this year." No. You don't get to do that this year. I scheduled an SEC opponent. I don't care if it's Missouri. I don't care if it's Florida.
If it was Missouri, it would have been better.
Would have probably been better this year, ironically. But you don't get to do that. So I don't think it's very difficult for us to sit there and say a computer, because then, okay, what are we setting this computer's parameters to, right? Would Florida State take a dive in the middle of the season because maybe Jordan Travis had a 100-yard game and the offense had 200 yards of production, but a win? Like, what are we doing here? So it's very difficult. I think, it should be an unbiased. Personally, I think it should be, people that, are not part of, I would even consider a mid-major committee to go in.
No.
To go in, because they know football and
wouldn't work.
No way.
No, because they still have stakes. Remember, these people are still, some of those guys used to be coaches with some of the people that are up there. Maybe they're trying to bid for a job at one of these universities or anything like that. Right. No, you couldn't. That would go left really quick. I mean, look, I'm going to say it again. Your boy Connor Stallions is out here hanging at Central Michigan. He had affiliations. No, it's the truth. I'm not even saying it as a Michigan side. Is that not a true allegation? That he was hanging.
That's an allegation, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, but he had an affiliation regardless. We can't dispute his man's affiliation. So my point is, they had an affiliation, Central Michigan, with the University of Michigan. So no, then they would have had a bias thing to them, no more than Ohio University maybe would have had one with Ohio State. So no, you can't put a committee like of a mid-majors. It's a human element. It's always going to be something wrong as long as it's a human element. If you go all computers, it's going to be an issue. To me, I would blend probably both. That's probably the closest you can do. I mean, the BCS a little bit did that. The issue with the BCS, people always talk about that computer shit. The BCS, the issue with the BCS was because it only took 2 teams, and you needed it. Probably it took 4. If you took the BCS system, plugged it in with 4 to 8 teams, it probably would have been okay most of the year. It was like the year where Auburn didn't get in; they were undefeated, and it was like you needed a 3rd team. That's what's wrong with the BCS. The truth is, people can sit there and say, we don't trust computers and all that shit. Full of shit. You fucking talk to Amazon. You talk to Alexa. You got your fucking self-driving car. Y'all don't believe in computers. Now you don't trust a computer to pick a damn football game, but you trust this computer to get you across the country. You trust the computer to wake you up every day and do all your fucking chores and cook for you and all that. No. I would challenge anybody to listen to this. The thing with the human element is it's the human element. Go on Twitter, anybody who's watching this, type in these phrases at some point. Fixed, paid refs, rigged, cheated. Every game, every Sunday, every Saturday, every Friday, any day of the week when a sporting event's going on, all you see is fans complaining about the ref because of the human element. Fans are going to complain no matter what because fans just need to complain. Nobody ever wants to look at their team and say, we fucking lost, we fucked this up. It's always the ref cheated. Every time I get on, there's a damn meme of like the ref in a Cowboys uniform. And then I go on the other side, there's a ref in the Eagles uniform. It's like, well, which way? The ref can't play for both teams, can he? Tune in Sunday. Go type those words in during the Eagles-Cowboys game. Tune in during the BCS or during the college football playoff. Type those keywords in and watch both fan bases go crazy because the human element is the human element. Can't get past that.
Did you say Eagles-Cowboys on NBC this Sunday night at 8:20?
Yes, I did. Go check out the Eagles-Cowboys game. Remember, type in those keywords. Watch both sides complain. It's all the refs' fault. Everything happens.
No, you're 100% right. I mean, there's not a right solution, right? Because who knows? That selection goes and puts Michigan 1, Washington 2, Florida State 3, and then completely takes out the SEC, right? And then we have the entire Paul Feinbaum train coming in and saying, Alabama's the best ever. Georgia's the best ever. Texas A&M and God damn it, like, SEC. Like that is the problem with this year. Is that was probably going to happen. They were never going to leave out an SEC team.
No,
never to this year. I would have been shocked.
No, they weren't.
They weren't going.
They had a guarantee. They had a guaranteed spot, and the truth is, Florida State shouldn't even have went to play Louisville. There was literally no point in that game. They said, the committee basically told us, the minute Jordan Travis got hurt, y'all didn't believe in him. So there was literally no point.
Why they went to 5.
Yeah, there was no point. They should have literally skipped that game. Everybody could have stayed healthy, and they could have went to class.
Yep.
But it goes back to the fact that, and Mike, I'll let you answer after this. It's like, goes back to what Jamie said in the beginning, is we're determining that we're predicting that an injury is going to happen. You're a top program in a Power 5, right? You do predict. You do predict if this happens. As a coach, you're in scoping yourself in all elements. That's why you go get a 5-star backup. That's why you go get another 3-star backup. I know he's not, Jordan Travis, but that's why you build a team. And I think Trey said it to me. This is a team game, guys. This is a team fucking game. This isn't just one player. Now, the quarterback is one of the most important players on the field. But this is a team game. We can't deny that.
I mean, Jordan Travis should be the number 1 overall pick, according to what the committee said, because apparently his value is just that.
That's how important it is.
He should win. He should be the Heisman. He should be the Heisman this Saturday.
He should be the Heisman and number 1 overall.
Right, exactly.
I picked him to win the Heisman. He's not gonna, but
congrats.
Thank you.
You send him a Heisman trophy, Mike.
There you go.
I think my pick's gonna win. MPJ.
Yeah, I don't know, because they're saying Jaden,
which was my pick. So
He
one
should.
of me and Jamie's picks are probably going to win. We both.
Why?
I
Who'd
picked
you
Jane Daniels before.
You picked Jane Daniels.
I thought you picked Marvin Harrison, didn't you?
No,
No.
no video of me saying Jane Daniels.
What do you mean? We don't record these.
No.
Yeah,
We just sit here and talk.
In the video, Jamie said, "You're probably going to pick Harrison." I say, "No, I'm not picking him. I'm actually picking Jane Daniels."
Oh,
I go through a whole 1 minute talk about why I was picking Jane Daniels and why he should have been at Ohio State instead of fucking.
Mikey, you on my side or you disagree?
So I think you guys all made good points, and you're right. You're all right. There's really not an answer to this. I like the idea of it really does come down to the parameters that the computer would have set. And that's why I think I would want to at least try, not necessarily that this is going to be the final solution or anything like that. At least try a combination of the two where it's the human element is brought in to specifically decide the parameters. If you're going to use a sort of committee or group meeting or whatever, what have you, right? It's to decide the parameters and break down exactly what we're looking for that year. Because I think it's going to change. I think if you do it multiple years, what we value is going to change because, well, that didn't seem to work. Let's try this. So that didn't seem to work the last 2 years. Let's try this. Things like that. And then you can plug that into a computer program that will spit out, hey, you humans decided that this is what you value. And if this is what you've decided you value, these are your 4 or these are your 12. Now,
next year's going to be even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the
It's
BCS.
going to be bad if 5 SEC teams get in. Then it's going to be a ruckus.
Mike, finish your statement.
Well, I was going to say, like with BCS, there were a lot of issues with that computer and the algorithm and all that. The benefit is like to a point. I'm kind of collecting all of what the 3 of you said and putting it all into my answer. So thank you for letting me go last. Taking what Trey said in the sense of we've got all these smart cars and we have smart refrigerators now. We have smart refrigerators. This is insane. But the computer programming and especially AI in itself has improved so much since the BCS, and which comparatively was not that long ago. I mean, it wasn't compared to like the history, especially the history of college football. It hasn't been that long that the playoffs been a thing. So I think I would like to see them try plugging it into some sort of like IBM Watson or, Google or Apple or whatever, what have you, to see what that looks like and see if we can get the best 4, the best 12 that makes sense, which apparently to many people on social media is Liberty.
Yeah, apparently Liberty's number 12, but Oklahoma's number 12. Everyone keeps putting that in there. If we had 12 teams this year, it would be Liberty at 12. I said,
That's
no,
true.
Oklahoma.
They should be, right? Especially they have a quality win over Texas. But going back to combining what you just said, Mike, and go back to what Trey said, the whole point is to have a fail-proof system. So that's why in the future, people are going to have to accept the fact that every McDonald's is going to have a robot making their food, because right now McDonald's is a system anyway, right? No matter who you employ at what age, their systems say that the fries and burgers have to taste the same from Minneapolis to fucking San Jose. So it's the same way. When you create a system and you say, okay, whatever parameters we're putting in, the system will generate what it's supposed to generate. And we are trying to have this system predict to us every single week, because we're going to wait week 7, week 8, every single week, use the information week by week to gather who you think are the best 4 teams after every week of play. So therefore, it's collecting and compiling data on every game, which is what humans cannot do. You don't have enough human capacity. Even if you use all 62 AP voters, you wouldn't be able to do that. So you're using something that can create a soundproof system. And it'll be the worst nightmare for shows like First Take, because then where's the debate, right? We're going to argue against the algorithm that's smarter than 62 AP writers, the entire freaking committee, and then every other person talking about the sport.
Yeah,
combine intellect.
Well, one thing that I look at it is, when we go to 12 teams, and I was listening to, I forget her name. She's been on ESPN a lot. I forget who she was talking about. She made some really good points about the 12 team. That she feels that this is going to happen next year with the number 13 and 12.
It is.
Trey and I have discussed it. But it is. It's going to happen, because then you know what? There's going to be 2-3 lost teams right there, and they're going to fight. One of them's going to beat each other, and we're going to have this happen. Or, like you just said, there's going to be 5 SEC teams in there, and people are going to be like, this is not fair. This is bias. How do you let Missouri in over Penn State? Or let's just say, whoever, right? It's just not, it's never gonna. I don't think you can make it a fail-proof, because when we look at it, they were putting on the screen during the committee, the selection show. There's 2 strength of schedules, right? There was one there, and they didn't describe what the second one was. And apparently, the second one was probably after the season. What the strength of schedule was postseason, which I don't understand how you can do that. Like, I understand some teams have, but that's not Florida State's problem. They went and thought they scheduled a tough non-conference games, tough ACC scheduled. They didn't expect Clemson to fall apart. They didn't expect LSU to kind of shit the bed halfway through the season in Florida. They didn't expect that. So you're penalizing teams at that point when you have 2 strength of schedules like that, one preseason, one postseason. I really don't like that aspect of it all.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, there's always like Trey said, and you guys are saying, like, there's always going to be somebody that complains.
Yep.
Everybody's going to have a problem. Somebody's going to have a problem.
I was arguing with some dumbass on Twitter past week about how he was saying, "Oh, Liberty should get in. They're a way better team than Florida State." I'm like, and then he's like, "We'll see in the Orange Bowl." I'm like, "No, the fuck we won't," because you know why? Georgia's not playing. Carson Beck isn't playing. Brock Bowers definitely isn't playing. And then Florida State's Keon Coleman's not playing. Half their defense is not playing. Like, come on. We can't get a true test of that.
Not even close. And Caitlyn Clark is officially the first women's college basketball player to ever have 3,000 points, 750 rebounds, and 750 assists in a college career. What a fantastic career it has been. I know a lot of people sort of remember her for the banter back and forth last year, losing to LSU by a pretty substantial margin in the title game. So you don't really understand the greatness of this girl until you really track her career. So state and state, she plays for the Iowa Hawkeyes. And man, oh man, when I tell you this girl can shoot the basketball, of course she gets her 3,000th career point on an NBA range, ridiculously deep 3. And yes, she does have that kind of range. And very reminiscent of Steph, where you see this person have this confidence every time the ball's in their hand, almost like you expect them to make every 3. There's not too many players like that transcend the game. But Caitlyn Clark, just want to say congratulations on a fantastic college career. I know I ranted last week about another women's college basketball player who is really fresh in her career. That's Juju Watkins. Perhaps Caitlyn's laying the foundation for something special for her to go ahead and chase. Maybe Juju becomes the 16th player all-time in Division I women's basketball to score 3,000 career points. Not sure if she had the 750 rebounds or the 750 assists, but Caitlyn Clark has been amazing to watch. I hope we get to watch her make a run all the way to the Final Four. Iowa is a top 5 team this year in college basketball. It'd be great to have her back in the national championship game and to see her hoist the national championship trophy as she rides off into the sunset. It'll be the perfect ending to a career of what is arguably the greatest women's college basketball player of all time. Congratulations, Caitlyn Clark.
Not even close, man. When we go into bowl games, like, what do you guys think about these teams that are pulling their players? Do you think, number one, I have kind of a two-parter on this question.
Okay.
Should we pay them less if they don't play a competitive, like an actual, like their roster? Or number two, should they have the option to sit out that bowl game to allow a team like Liberty, who was ecstatic to go to the Fiesta Bowl, go play in that game instead to actually give this a really good football game? What do you think?
Asking, should they have the option to opt out?
Should they have the option to opt out? And if they do, and they sit their starters,
option to opt out though. You can always, you have to accept the bowl.
Yeah, you don't have to accept the.
You have to accept the bid because there have been teams who have not taken their bowl bid. This happened before.
But do you think? I mean, like at a high rank, like should it be either or? Take it or like if you're going to sit your starters, cool, but you got to pay paid less, or should you take the option to sit out? That's my question.
I mean, nobody's ever going to take the option to sit out, but that's just because they're greedy. They want the TV ratings and all that type of stuff. Plus, at the end of the day, honestly, the bowl season. If I look at a program like, for example, Ohio State, that's my team. We ain't playing for see, we not playing for playoffs. I don't want our stars to play anyways. I want the backups to play so I can start to see the next generation. I remember specifically watching and being like, oh, CJ Stroud, this guy looks solid. It looks like he got a good future. I remember like watching the next generation come up. So, yeah, and that's where I look at the bowl games for like the bigger programs. That's where I look at the bowl games for, because really the truth is, in the real scope of this, most of these schools ain't making that much money really in these bowl games. Then you got to take in mind too, when you do stuff like the playoff, they actually split the money amongst the conference. You get your own pay plus the conference gets a certain amount of money too. So it's not like you just get to actually clock all this in. Like I looked this up. So last year, 2022, there were around 10 bowl games that made less than $1 million per school. That ain't really making that much money. You got to they make less than $1 million. You still have to pay for the players to travel and all that. So I looked at specifically Bahamas Bowl. They get to go to Bahamas. That's all great and dandy and shit. But UAB played Ohio University. They were estimated to make each around $225,000 for the school. That ain't really shit. So in the meantime, went down to wormhole. I said, well, how much does it fucking cost to go to Ohio University? The average cost for a student tuition at Ohio University with room and board is $30,000 per year. That is 8 students' tuition. They didn't make shit to go to that bowl game. So you can dock them, but I mean, what does that really do? Then you have to look at like the sponsorship. The average sponsor right now, or last year on the lower end, not like the Fiesta Bowl shit, they're paying like $500,000 just to put their name on the bowl. Right. These sponsors don't give a fuck who shows up. Why do you think we have to fucking Cheez It Bowl? Because they don't care who's out there. Cinco Squad could go play against the fucking Modelo podcast, and they would still be like, well, it's Cheez It Bowl. We don't care. We're going to get these cheeses. We're going to throw some cheese in the end zone, have a mascot. And
let's fucking do it.
We'd win.
We're taking on. Let's go. Let's get it.
I have aged you to be the cheesiest. Let's go, coach.
Dude, I'll run 5 yards.
Upfield, cheesiest, coach.
I'll fucking run 5 yards and be like, I'll be like Kevin James from Grown Ups.
Mike throw me the ball. Mike looking like dude from The Longest Yard trying to throw a pass. I'll play quarterback in the ball.
No, I'd get tackled once and be broken in half.
He dropped the ball and be like, hey, ball.
No, don't forget, but John, don't forget, because you've watched a lot more football than Trey and Jamie have with me so far. Every time there's a fumble. If I fumble the ball, I have to scream. I have to yell that first. And
like,
then
Mike, you're on the field. Grab it.
Fumble!
No, but you're right. I mean, paying them less. I mean, a lot of these schools, I think for the bigger games, it is fun to see the young starter. I think as true football fans that we are, we like to watch our teams go out there. So when Michigan went and played in the Citrus Bowl, that's not really a big game. It's kind of like a mid-major game in a sense, I would say, in the bowl system. But they played Alabama. That was the last time they played them in the bowl game in 2019, right before COVID, or 2020, I should say, January 2020. And I got to watch the backups. I got to watch a few of the guys that were on the squad. I was like, okay, like watching the defense. They got beat that game pretty badly, but it was a meaningless game, right? It was just two teams playing each other. But it was nice to see like how they would go up against an SEC opponent, which Bama was playing their second, third string guys too. Right. So I kind of get that. I wouldn't deduct the cost if you're not going to play your starters, because a lot of these guys are going to the NFL, right? Like, I don't know how you can, punish a kid for doing everything you can for the school and then saying, you know what, I don't want to get injured to help my career.
But
the only thing that deducted is their ticket prices.
Yeah, they need to lower the ticket prices on a lot of these games.
But John, let's rewind on what you just said. That it was a meaningless game. How can you consider this to be like your playoffs, right? You're not just saying like the CFP is, yes, the CFP is the pinnacle of it, but everything else is supposed to be somewhat of a playoff scenario, because winner takes all. Like winning a bowl is that you get a championship trophy, you celebrate winning the bowl. It's not a huge celebration, but it's somewhat of you're winning something of what's supposed to be significant. It's like, I remember going to the Outback Bowl ages ago, and they fucking wouldn't stop inviting Iowa. I think one year it was, and one year I think I went, it was Michigan,
Florida. I think they're there again.
Wait, Iowa.
One year it's like Michigan, Florida, which was actually a decent game. But the Outback Bowl had some sort of pizzazz to it. It's like these teams are still playing hard, like they want to win the Outback Bowl. Right. Now it's so insignificant because they've watered the product down. We spoke about this on our show probably, I don't know, 3 or 4, maybe 5 episodes ago. Let's just get rid of half of these bowls, so then you have 100% quality games. And hey, you want to make the stakes higher? Guess what? We'll throw an extra scholarship to your school if you win the bowl. Don't tell me a school's going to be like, oh, fuck yeah, I want to play for that extra scholarship. That means we can get an extra player in here, and that gives us, like you said, more depth, right?
You know what I like?
Yeah.
You know what I like out of that idea? Some of the best videos on the internet that I've watched have been when walk-ons get scholarships. Mm-hmm. So if your team can play for that, if like they have a particular walk-on grad student, whatever in mind, they're like, hey, let's do this one for fucking Timmy. For fucking Timmy. Yeah. Like he's been our 5'2".
Don't you mean Rudy?
No.
Well, Rudy was 5'2", I think, or 5'5" or something. I'm about to say, is an actual guy.
A 5 foot, yeah, he was like a 5'4" D end. That was back when you could be.
He still managed to be offsides.
Gee, thank you very much, guys. You've been a great audience.
Rudy was offsides too much.
Oh, I agree with you. I agree with that. I think that giving it to a walk-on that deserves it. I think that, like the bowl sponsor or someone.
I'm saying, like Mikey's right. You get up and play for that. Like your school.
You see how hyped they are. That's really
right. You think they're not in it when they're already hyped for a game. You think they're not going to be as hyped as they are when he gets the scholarship to go play for his scholarship. Like if I'm a coach in that position, in that hypothetical situation, if I'm a coach, that's what I'm leading off with before the game. Like, hey, you're not playing for yourselves today. You're playing for Johnny that's been on the team for, I'm switching names all the time.
Win one for the Gipper.
Win one for the Gipper. Rockney. But I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean that would be great. I still don't think you have to force the starters to play. That would be put on the starters. Like, hey, if you want to play, play. If you don't, hey, back up. We're counting on you. You're still a division. At the end of the day, a lot of these teams are Division I Power 5 conferences. Whether they're third string or second string, you still could start probably on another team. Like,
oh yeah,
like for trade. Like for the last decade, Ohio State's had backups on backups on backups. I mean, look at Alabama's running back room.
Still 4 or 5 stars. The backups of these
right, exactly. I'm sorry, I didn't finish. I was saying they have backups that could start anywhere in the country.
I was
going to say Joe
Burrow
won a championship after being the 4th stringer at Ohio State.
Yeah, you got.
And then you look
But
at
once again,
Alabama's
that
running
goes back
back
to
room.
Florida State. See, that could-
Oh my
you
god!
go
I mean,
for
yeah.
it.
What? Who is like their fifth string? Their fifth
String was Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Who's
Kamara had to leave because he couldn't get on the field.
And he transferred to Tennessee the year after. It was Kenyon Drake,
immediately started.
Mark Ingram, Derrick Henry, Kenyon Drake, and Alvin Kamara as their fifth string.
Christ.
Like, really? Come on. You couldn't go. You could put those guys out there anytime, right? So,
Right.
Yeah,
I
people
think
aren't sitting at the lower school. The lower schools who don't have 5 stars, those ain't the schools where people sitting. Those are actually the schools where people usually do play. Because if you are, let's say, I remember Khalil Mack being at Buffalo, you do want to play in that game because that's your time to shine. I remember watching Devontae Adams with Derek Carr go against
Right.
USC in the bowl game, and I remember that was like a Devontae Adams coming out party, but that was his time to go out there and shine. Don't make the people that sitting. The people that sitting is the guys at the top schools, anyways, who they're back as a 5-star.
exactly. And you might get better competitive games. I mean, unfortunately, last year, Tennessee wiped away Clemson. But I also agree with that. Make the ticket prices more reasonable. Like, Syracuse is playing in the Boca Raton Bowl on December 21st. And I kind of want to go because it's $50. $50 to go, who cares, right? Like,
Right.
that's not a lot, but I'm looking at the Orange Bowl, Georgia versus Florida State, $250, $300, $350. I'm like,
And that's for
come on, guys. Like, I know you got to make $1 at the
Way
end of the day,
up,
but like, exactly, like 50-yard line, forget it. Like 20 grand.
I was gonna say field level
Last
seats.
year-
You tell me you can't make enough money on field level seats that you can give some.
Well,
seat
the hype
nosebleeds?
now is that Florida State's going to prove a point. It's like they're proving a point without the solid
Right.
Georgia team. Like, come on now, like they're not playing the actual Georgia team. It's just
Talk about deflated energy. If that ends up being a good game, kudos to the players.
Yeah.
But both of those teams are completely deflated to the point where just like our season just got ruined. Yep.
Especially Georgia, because back-to-back now don't even get to defend your crown.
Nope.
Right.
I got a question for you guys. So, if you guys have a solid, never mind. Actually, that's not a good question because teams could fall off. I was gonna say the national champion should automatically get a bid to the playoff, but no, that's never mind.
That's a different.
That's a different team.
Yeah.
Yes,
Now-
As soon as I was saying it, I was like, never mind.
Well, now-
They go undefeated that year. Then it's
Right.
like you get
Yeah, but then you earn your bid anyway. So
probably-
you get a championship game.
But if you
True.
put this situation, right? If you put all of this situation in like the 90s or back, I think it is different, and you got to consider multiple time or past national champion because you don't have as many transfers, you don't have as many guys leaving before like within their minimum 3 years, things like that. So you've got there would have been a better argument in like the early 2000s and back for like, okay, this is legit, other than like, a handful of positions or guys that may have rotated and left or transferred or whatever.
Yeah.
This is roughly the same team.
Yeah,
But
because you did have
Here's a
USC
weird thing,
came
right?
back with a similar team. Red
Yeah.
Price over there in a couple championship games.
When Georgia won their first one, they lost the conference championship to Bama.
Correct.
And then went back and beat Bama in the championship game.
Yeah.
What makes it so different? Now they're losing as the one, because you're the 1 seed losing, you get punished more. Like, it's
5
weird.
spots, bro.
I
Five
said-
No, it's really because of more teams that were alive this time. Last time was
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the most competitive the college football playoff ranking
We
has
said it
been
every week.
in
Yeah, it was
years.
just too many
Yeah.
teams available because they
But-
would have gladly slid if everybody else would have lost. If let's say Texas would have lost,
Yeah.
then Georgia I think would have slid in anyway because they were playing Florida Stadium regardless. So I think if Texas lost
Right.
that game, Georgia would have been in the playoff.
But still, you're saying you're hinging the fact that this team has been the number 1 team for most of the season, and they lose to somebody who they already lost to when they won their first national championship, and prove that they can come back and win the tournament or win the college football playoff. And I get it because there's a lot of good teams there. It's just
but we're
weird
constantly
to me that the number 1 team is getting literally punished for losing a conference championship game to the perennial powerhouse of college football in the
Well,
last
listen,
10 years. So they
okay.
fucking lost to Missouri. You know
So
what I
this
mean?
is college football. You have to remember, wins at the end of the season mean way more
Yes,
than a
yes.
win. And I'm not
Who's
saying
hot?
this, but that is
Yeah.
a true fact. How many times have we seen a team lose in the first couple of weeks and
That's
they
what's up.
find a way? I mean, Alabama.
Alabama.
Yeah, because it didn't matter if Alabama was undefeated and they lost. Then it's like, okay, now it matters. We in college football, as I guess viewers or the committee, nobody gives a fuck about the first 5 weeks of college football. Let's keep it on it. That's what we basically have learned, through these years. It does hurt you way more to lose in the conference championship or in your rivalry game than it does,
Well, Texas gives a fuck. Texas got in because of that.
Well, it's like I said it's like I said on my clip earlier this week, is that exactly what Trey said. It's not right to punish people for playing a tough schedule, but it's the hottest teams going into the playoff. And the hottest teams going into the playoffs were the 4 teams playing in the college football playoff. I don't agree with it. Georgia looked okay over the last couple weeks. Florida State looked okay, but dominance was Texas, Washington, Michigan, and Alabama. Unfortunately, it's not right, but it is what it is. But
3 points. They lost
what?
It's a 3-point game. It wasn't that much dominant. Alabama won by 3.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm saying Georgia over the last couple weeks going into the SEC looked okay. They dominated Ole Miss, but looked okay in the final game against
Washington
Georgia.
Squeaked their way into that Oregon game, bro.
So one thing that strikes me about it is that Georgia, and I pointed this out to a Georgia fan that I know, Georgia fell more spots than Alabama rose.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I have a hunch. I obviously don't know this, but I have a hunch that the committee, if they didn't know they were outright screwing Florida State, Georgia would have been 5. They gave Florida State 5 instead of 6 or 7 as a consolation prize. See,
I do
almost made it.
That slap in the face.
I do agree with that.
I would have rather been 10. I would have rather put you be 10.
Just tell me Just tell me you think we suck.
Yeah. Put me next to Liberty.
Would have gotten it. So I agree with you because Texas. Yeah, if Texas lost, Georgia would have been in. So I do agree with you that was solely okay. We'll throw Florida State.
See, you almost made it. How about those red hot New York Rangers? 18-5-1. They're tearing through the league. They've been playing great. Alexi Lafreniere's finally looking like a solid first-round pick. Still not first overall numbers, but he's on pace for, I think, a 60 or 70-point season. Artemi Panarin's on pace for 126 points this year. He's got 37 through the first 24 games. Chris Kreider proving a lot of people that I heard say he wasn't going to be a great goal scorer and that he couldn't match those high goal scoring totals. He's got 14 in those 24 games. I'm loving this team, and Adam Fox isn't even back yet. He's been hurt for a while. I'm excited to get Foxy back. Jonathan Quick is looking like 2012 Stanley Cup champion, unfortunately for me, Stanley Cup champion. Jonathan Quick back as the backup. Shesterkin has looked a little shaky in a couple starts, but his numbers are starting to trend upward. I'm loving it. I'm loving those Rangers Broadway blue shirts. Let's go.
Well, as we continue the tournament talk and switching sports, going to the professional level, we have the NBA in-season tournament semifinals tonight, and then the finals on Saturday. I'm going to go through pretty quickly before we get to our signature tournament. Take it over to our resident trade corner 3. What do you think is a prediction for tonight and then for Saturday?
Real quick,
Since you got dog in the fight.
I'm surprised that it's actually been as enjoyable as it was. I was kind of like, I don't know about this in-season tournament, but overall, it's been enjoyable. A lot of the fans online I've been conversing with have also enjoyed it. But what I think is going to happen is, as much as I love my boy Tyrese, I think the Bucks are going to go ahead, close down the Pacers, and I think the Lakers are going to go ahead, finish that, and then I think the Lakers are going to beat the Bucks in the finals. I think LeBron is thirsty to get this. He really wants it because LeBron is trying to find every instance to say, this is something I did where I was either the first or Mike didn't do it. Mike didn't get a chance to do it, but LeBron, if he gets to get the first one, LeBron, you heard him say, I've got the bubble ring. I got the 3-1 comeback. LeBron is always pushing the narrative of what he has that nobody else has. And it'd be nothing like being able to say, I want to be first in season tournament. LeBron has played hard in these games compared to the rest of the season.
Yes, he
so,
has.
Lakers, Bucks, Lakers win in his first in-season tournament.
Well, I am going to go with the hot hand and keep it in Indiana. And say Indiana is going to upset Milwaukee. I think Tyrese Halliburton is going to have a triple-double, his second in that game. And then they're going to play the Los Angeles Lakers, and I have the Lakers winning the entire thing as well because I think LeBron's on a mission, and just one thing on that I thought the same thing, Trey. I think when I first heard it, I thought, oh, this is dumb. Why are we doing this? But this has actually been one of the most entertaining October, November, December that I've seen in a long time in NBA. Like, I've been actually enjoying watching the games, enjoying the competitive nature that these guys are pulling out. So hats off to Adam Silver for trying something and putting something out there. I heard him on the Pat McAfee show today, and he was basically like talking about how he was, like just trying it, like let's try something, get them a little bit more engaged, put a trophy at the end. And so hats off to Adam Silver for actually trying and innovate and try to make the league a little bit more fun. Grandpa Jay.
I'm gonna just keep this quick here. The as much as the Pacers are a fun team to watch play on one side of the ball, they're playing a team that you can't afford not to play great defense again. Milwaukee's pick and roll with their bigs and with Giannis, and I just think the way you have Dame kind of just camping out now. Dame's a more reliable shooter than Drew Holiday is, so I feel this team is too hard to beat. Far less when you're a poor defensive team. So I definitely like the Bucks going through, but I like the Pelicans to beat the Lakers. We're getting a little bit some storylines here of some Lakers that were kind of shit away when LeBron came to town and said, "I'll just go play in a different market." I think this is a chance for some of those guys to get a little bit of revenge here and be like, "Look, this is a chance in a significant game for me to prove that I'm a lot better than you guys think." You guys know who I'm talking about, Mr. Ingram. So we'll see whether he steps up. But Zion has been an absolute monster. And my fingers are crossed that he stays healthy, because I would love to see this season play out with him and CJ playing together and on the court for at least 65, 75 games, because some of them, a little injury hair, a little bruise or whatever there. But I think the Pelicans are going to end up winning this, but I have the Bucks beating the Pelicans in the finals.
Mikey Mike.
Okay.
Take us home.
Okay, so I have the Lakers defeating the Pelicans in the semifinals. I have the Indiana Pacers upsetting the Milwaukee Bucks in the semifinals, but I have to stick with my fantasy basketball first round pick, who's been a godsend to my roster. Tyrese Halliburton leads himself and the Indiana Pacers over the Lakers. They're going to win.
Wow.
And I agree with
that
triple
the Pacers. Trey has the
Pacers.
Lakers. John, you have the Lakers as well?
Yeah, I would like.
I got the Bucks.
You got the Bucks. Bucks, Pacers, and
No
two
Pelicans
Lakers.
left.
No Pelicans left. They're gone. Mike? Or is
Mike?
that not? That's not a Pelican.
Those are
is it?
seagulls, but there's
Yeah,
Pelicans
same
there
thing.
too. Pelicans is the one that scooped him up.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay. Well, that is our prediction. Let us know what you guys think of the in-season tournament in the comments. I'm excited to see who the champion is.
Yeah.
And will this be the Final Four at the end of the year? Tune in. But
Great question.
let's get to our tournament that we have going on that Jamie is dominating right now. So let's take it over to Stump the Squad.
All right, boys and girls, and all you crazy people out there, it's our favorite time of the show. It is Stump the Squad. This is when we ask each other a series of questions to see who we can stump. If you get it right, you get +2. If you get it wrong, you get -2. We know it all, so sometimes we just mess with you guys to make you feel like we don't. Hey, we got to keep it fun, right? But here's the deal. The person who has the most wins at show 100 gets crowned King of the Stump or King of the Stump the Squad. Whatever you guys want to phrase it at. I kind of like King of the Stump because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get my crown on and win that Stump the Squad 100 show is where we're going to do it. So you guys got to stay tuned up until then. But let's take it away, boys. So let's go. All right, you guys know what time it is. It's Stump the Squad time. Yours truly here, winning last week. We're trying to just make our way up to that 10th win. I think if I get to 10, it's going to be a hard time for you boys to try and make up that ground. So we're going for a back-to-back this week. John, help me win back-to-back. Let's take it away here.
Okay, all right. Mike, what are we at right now? Jamie at 7?
Yeah, so we are currently I was actually just pulling it up. Jamie at 7, Trey at 5, me at 3, and you at 1.
All odd numbers. I think
Awesome.
I'm going to be the
Awesome.
Something's got to give. Someone's got to go even.
Somebody has to get even today.
Hold on. We have a breaking news
do.
report. We have a breaking news report. I'm going to throw it over to TreyDay.
Okay, so big news in baseball. You know, me being our resident baseball expert. Juan Soto has officially been traded to Mike and John's New York Yankees. As a very
we still need pitching.
Still need pitching,
And we just traded a bunch of it.
That's a big bat to add. Along
Big
with
bat.
Mr. Judge, the captain.
3 very big bats already.
Yeah, a very big bat to add there.
Well,
All right. Well, go Yankees, and I'll take it away with my question. Oof. And shout out to Mike's video on Instagram. Check out all of our socials below, right there. So we have the Heisman Trophy ceremony this weekend, fellas.
Mm-hmm.
How many Heisman Trophy winners are Hall of Famers?
Ooh.
Is it 8, 10, 12, or 15?
Are we talking NFL Hall of Famers? Making sure my
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Okay.
NFL Hall of
NFL
Famers.
Hall of
I'm
Famers,
sorry.
okay.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, what was the numbers?
8, 10, 12, or 15?
12.
12.
10.
Damn you.
Trey and Mike say 12. Jamie says
At least you're going to copy your answer.
10. Today I successfully stumped
The squad.
the squad.
Ah,
Woo!
15?
It is 8.
Eight.
And
wow.
the 8 winners are, or Hall of Famers are, Doak Walker, Paul Hornung, Rodgers Staubach, O.J. Simpson, Tony Dorsett, Earl Campbell, Marcus Allen, Barry Sanders, and Tim Brown. Those are the
Wow.
8 Hall of Famers.
Peyton Manning didn't win the Heisman, huh? Who won it in Peyton Manning's year?
Drew Leaf.
Ryan Leaf.
Hey, sorry,
Ryan,
Charles Wilson.
Ryan.
Leaf. Ryan Leaf won it that year.
I thought Charles Wilson won it because it's 97.
Yeah, it was Charles Woodson.
Oh, it was it?
Peyton-
But I think it wasn't Peyton up for the year before and Leaf won
Did
it.
Leaf did Leaf win their junior?
Because I know Leaf did win one, didn't he?
I didn't think he won.
I don't know if
Oh.
he did.
I thought
Hold on.
Charles Wilson was the.
Or was he the number 1 overall pick? Is
He
that?
was
No, Leaf was
Peyton
number 2.
number 1.
Leaf was number 2.
The back and forth was who should go 1 between the two.
Oh, that's
But
right. That's right.
Wilson
Yeah.
is 97 and Peyton's at the ceremony. I think I've seen a picture of them like together.
Mhm.
That's right. You're right. You're right. Because Charles Woodson is the Heisman that year. All right, Trey, take it over.
Okay,
What's-
so this week Sports Illustrated announced its annual Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year. They've been doing this since 1954. This year, it was primetime Deion Sanders for his efforts with the Colorado Buffaloes. So, our question this week, which one of these athletes was never voted the Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year? And this is post-2000, so 2000 up to now. 3 of these people were, 1 of these people were not. Who's the person who was not? Our answers here are Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Tim Duncan, or Steph Curry. Who was not Sportsman of the Year by Sports Illustrated?
Kobe.
Could you say that one more time?
We have Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Tim Duncan, Steph Curry.
Steph Curry.
John's going
No. Curry did win it. What am I talking about? I remember. I'm going to say Kobe as well.
Okay. John's going Kobe. Mike's going Kobe.
Tim Duncan.
And Jay's going Tim Duncan.
Mm-hmm.
Today, I have successfully stumped Jamie. We all got to catch up. Yep.
Yep, we all got to catch up.
It's time to catch up. Matter of
I'm
fact,
not going to overtime today. God damn
Consider that
it.
a gimme for you guys.
So-
Kobe
Jamie,
was
go
the
ahead.
obvious
Jamie,
answer.
go ahead and stay cool. And throw me this hoop so I can go see John at OT.
Who do you want next? Jamie?
Okay. Yep. Keep him cool.
Okay. Keep
All
him
right. So this week, the New England Clam Chowders play the Pittsburgh Cotton Candy Popcorn Steelers. And the over right now is set at 28.5 points. I'm thinking there might not even be 10 points in this game. So in the history of the NFL, there have been 73 games that have ended 0-0. Last one being in 1943. We know that can't happen again. But can you tell me how many games have finished 2-0 in NFL history?
Oh,
It
wow.
can happen 0-0.
It can't. They have to have a winner.
No, they don't. Not in the NFL.
No, not anymore.
NFL is a tie.
It could end 0-0. Yeah.
You could.
In an
Nobody
overtime.
ever scores, 'cause remember,
I don't think it has, but it could happen.
You're right. You're right. It could.
Somebody hits a field goal or
You
something
would
at some
assume
point.
somebody
I'd be
would-
begging. I don't care who it is. I'd be begging for someone to score. Like, score! Come on!
Block the field goal.
It's only 71 yards. Just kick it.
Perhaps we might see it this weekend for the first time in almost.
Yes.
Can you repeat the question and answers again?
The
please?
actual
Sorry, I kept
question.
doing it.
Actually, it would be nice if it happened first time in 8 years. Okay, so how many games have finished 2-0
Okay.
in NFL history? Is it 4, 5, 7, or 8?
7.
5.
8.
Gentlemen, I have successfully stumped TreyDay and Mikey. It is 5.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Let's get it.
Are you okay, John?
I gotta get excited. I have one win. God damn it.
Come off the one.
All right.
So what's
Mikey.
the scenario here?
So I have to get it wrong. Mike's question obviously can't. Oh, actually, no. I won. Yeah.
All right, you don't need my question. Move on.
Yeah, we'll save a question for next week.
For everyone that's watching, that's my second win. So I got like 6 more to go to catch Jay. So I'm gonna put myself on the screen.
Remember Mike's question. Let Mike give his question.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Right.
I had my look. Everyone else got their dance. God damn it!
You
It's been 27 weeks since I got it.
Mike, kick him out.
We're like fucking Hulk.
I just want to ask a question.
Mike's like, I just want to go.
I just want to at least want the pride of being able to hopefully stump you guys. Okay, so unfortunately was not able to find an updated list. So we're going to go as of 3 years ago. Which 2 MLB teams have played each other the most? Looking at our rivalry topic, I thought, which 2 MLB teams, as of 3 years ago, when this was seemingly last tabulated,
Okay.
which 2 teams have played each other the most?
Okay.
A, the Cubs and Pirates. B, the Reds and Giants. C, the Dodgers and Braves. Or D, the Yankees and White Sox.
Cubs and Pirates.
Okay. John says Cubs and Pirates.
What was B?
B was Reds Giants.
Yep.
Reds Giants. All right.
Who do White Sox have?
Yankees.
White Sox, Yankees.
Okay. So Trey says Yankees White Sox. Jay says Reds Giants. John says Cubs Pirates. Well, gentlemen, it's a banner day for John. He got it correct. I stumped Jamie and Trey. It is the Cubs and Pirates.
They're in division.
Yeah.
Right, but they weren't. Well, man, they
were in
always-
division, so they
Where's
played
the
each other
Cubs?
18
I don't
times a
know if
year.
in the same division.
Not right now, though. They've been out of division for a while now.
No, they're in
No,
the
the
same
Cubs-
division.
They're in the Central. So they've been in the Central
But
for.
were the Cubs in the West was my question at one point. Anyway, but
Yeah,
yeah,
okay,
I mean, those are
always-
some of the. I went with them because they're some of the oldest teams before divisions.
Yeah, I was going.
Oh, so this is all time. Like,
This is all time.
oh, I just went from like early. I just went from
Yeah,
the
he said all
2000s to
time.
3 years
No,
ago.
no. This is
He said
I'm
all
just
time.
saying that was my mindset. I was like, okay,
That
so
worked.
they're in division, so they're
yeah,
so.
yeah. No,
Yeah, I
no.
thought
This
like-
was as of 3 years ago. Ever.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I would.
I
I'm
mean,
glad
it
I
worked.
didn't,
Either
I'm
way,
glad I
it
didn't
worked.
listen.
Um,
So
You
one
do
time I
that
don't
more
listen.
often. You won.
as, again, as of 3 years ago, they had played each other 2,544 times.
Wow. It's a lot of baseball.
Well,
They're very
this-
old. But,
this week's
yeah.
Congratulations, Sean. You are no longer solo dolo. Welcome to the 2 Club.
Hello.
Princess Wave.
All right, so I would like to thank Bubba for supporting me back there.
This isn't the Academy Awards.
Bubba probably was
Yeah.
doing
You know,
that.
where you're like you wanted that.
It is.
one.
Bubba gave it a
My
man,
stretch between wins. I mean, Jesus.
This would be
Yeah,
like
exactly.
14
Jesus will
shows.
come at this point.
Like
Jesus
14
would-
shows.
So, Mike, take us away with our standings.
Yes, so that brings us to the following. Still in the lead, Grandpa Jay with 7. Trey holds second place with 5. I hold third place with 3. Very convenient. And John now inches closer to reaching everybody with his second win.
Fly, Pelican, fly.
Fly, Pelican. Oh, is that the bird that we're having fly? Okay, that works. Pelicans can fly.
John, that's
No
not
other
it.
bird.
You have to
No
damn
other
near
bird.
run the table to win, John.
What?
You have to damn near run the table to win this.
I do, because we're now at 10 episodes, 12
Yeah,
episodes.
we have 12
Oh,
left.
now 11 left now after today.
There's
Yeah, we
11
have
for today. You have to damn near run the table.
And Jamie has 7, right?
Jamie has 7.
Oh, yeah.
So I literally have to win 5 out of the last 6.
yeah.
and
you
then-
have to.
Hopefully Jay doesn't use his brain.
You're right, and you need. Well, that's the thing. You
I
need
think Jay's cheating. I'm calling a committee. I'm calling a committee with a computer.
Okay, you know what? That's it.
Governor DeSantis.
That's it. Next,
His eyes looked up like, what?
I'm making the executive decision that starting next week, we're going to start tabulating the scoreboard using an AI. We're going to put in all the criteria of like how many questions we've gotten right or wrong wins. It's still undefeated. Will not get in.
Well, I have my second win. Comeback starts today. It's just like the Packers and the Bengals run.
Geez, the Packers there.
Oh, the Packers there, guys.
John's gonna come back and win. Don't you
know?
Oh yeah.
Don't you know, dear? Well, guys, any final thoughts as we headed into the weekend?
Yeah, what the fuck is the NFL thinking, making you guys at 3.5 dogs right now? The prisoners of the moment.
I love it.
Cowboys actually beat in this run. Not one team that's over 500. Get out of here. Eagles 3.5 dogs on the road. Give me the Eagles. I should have put them in my bets of the week. What a stupid thing.
I love it.
Rangers.
Yeah, Mikey's Rangers.
Congrats. The Rangers are the best team in NHL.
Oh, and Cinco. I want to make an announcement. Cinco Squad, everyone, will be live at the Auto Nation Orange Bowl Classic. Live tweeting. I'll be going live. Unfortunately, my brothers will not be able to attend because we just got the notice on today. So they will not be able to. It'll just be me at the Auto Nation Orange Bowl Classic, where USF is taking on Florida State in a house rival here, and then Richmond's taking on Florida, the Gators. So should be a good matchup on Saturday. I'm gonna be live tweeting. Let me know if you have any questions for the coaches or players. Tweet it to us at Cinco Squad Pod.
Let's go Spiders. Let's go Spiders.
Hey, you may leave the A10, John, but the A10 will never leave you.
Yeah, it never leaves me. I'm still going back covering the Richmond Spiders. So, well, fellas, we got 11 episodes left until our Stump the Squad winner. We got 3 weeks till Christmas. It's a holiday cheer. Michigan's in the playoff. Eagles are playoff bound. Let's go Birds and Blue. And we'll see you here next week, episode 89. See you guys later.